Hey everybody, it's Margot.
Guys, I'm such a fucking actress.
And Lydia.
Strong black woman over here.
But you already know why we're here.
Pop off, sis.
I went commando on public transportation, huh?
Oh my god.
I love a good lazy river.
Because I'm lazy and I like water.
Pop off, sis.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of hungover right now.
The content you may not want but deserve.
Pop off.
I think I popped off about that.
You popped off.
Pop off, sis! Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this glorious new episode.
Welcome, guys. We're jumping right into it.
Yes, we are. Okay, Lydia, do you have a rose for me?
Oh, do I have a rose? I definitely just don't have a rose that I thought of to be prepared, Margot. So let's just say my rose is that the weather here in Maryland is just popping off, to say the least. It is like yesterday was like 70 degrees. Today's Saturday. It's like almost 60. It's beautiful out. People were in shorts the other day. Like March is just, this spring weather is coming. I'm here for it. And you wouldn't know much about that right now. Why? Because where are you, Margot?
I'm in Colorado. Okay. Before the people come after me, all right. I did it as safely as possible. I'm visiting my brother out here, and my parents came with me. So it's not like I came here, I'm going back, and I'm gonna murder them. Right. That sounded bad, but they came with me. So if they get the Rona, then it's on all of us, I guess, for taking this risk. But we're hoping that doesn't happen. We've been taking safety measures, but yes, my rose this week. I'm in Colorado. It is gorgeous. I was dying in my little neighborhood, and it just feels like a breath of fresh air. The sun is out. It is cold and snowy, and it's giving me a serotonin boost, to say the least.
To say the least. I realized as you were talking, because before this, guys, Margot was telling me about her safe travels to Colorado, and I was like, my rose should have been that Margot traveled first class to Colorado, okay? Because that's a win for all of us, okay? So tell the people you did travel nicely, I will say.
I was very fortunate to be able to do that. And well, I did not pay for the ticket. So,
Even better.
Yeah. But let me tell you, it's another world up there. It really is. And all the people were like, it's not really worth it. Like, I get it. Why would I pay $200 more, whatever it is? I don't even know what the price difference is, but a ridiculous amount to sit up in a different section. But they treat you real nice.
Oh, we gotta have a whole episode. Like, you and I have to take a trip, and we're gonna fly first class and like kind of like vlog style, but like have an episode on it. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm here for it. Let's do it. Okay. After we're vaccinated.
Right, exactly, of course. And glad you're safe, glad the family is safe, you're enjoying for all of us. So what's poppin' this week?
Okay, well, do you know Emily Ratajkowski?
The model.
Yeah. She had her baby this week. So congrats to her.
Congrats.
I've always liked her because I don't know if you've ever seen interviews with her, but she just keeps it really real. And she's a model, but like she grows out her armpit hair. And it's interesting because she's like in the industry, and, you know, like in the modeling industry, it's very much about, it has been a lot about putting women into like the stereotypical box of like what feminine is. And I like that she, even though she's on the inside, she's also kind of like, screw that, you know, right. I'm gonna do it. And so she just had a baby. So congrats to her.
Congrats. I did not know she was pregnant. Congratulations to her.
I feel like everyone's been pregnant in quarantine and having babies.
I was just thinking that, like, I feel like pregnancy is a trend again for some reason. Like, everybody is having babies in quarantine, but they said that was going to happen. Like, remember doctors even predicted that? Like, there was nothing else to do if you're cuddled up in the house with your man. Might as well. Shoot.
Yeah. You're getting divorced or you're having a kid. It's
one or the other.
The other thing, Lydia, have you heard this? The Matt and Heather Bachelor theory?
No.
So
Heather? Who's Heather?
Heather, she came on the show. She was the blonde girl who shows up, asked to become part of the house when they were halfway in. The girls freaked out, bullied her, and then Matt was like, no.
Right.
But there's this theory going around because they were in the same location. and people the Snoops figured it out through Instagram that they were in the same location. There's a theory that he's not with whoever he ended up with, which we think is Rachel, and that he's with Heather instead. So that's
tea. I mean, I just have a feeling, I know like you might know more than I do about how this all ends. I've talked to a few other friends that I think have read some spoilers. And if it's the case that he doesn't end up with one of the three left, I could see that. It's possible. You know, the internet's a wild place. These investigators have nothing better to do. They will find out the tea. That's crazy. Yes, if true, that is wild. Also, I just randomly thought of when you were talking about Emily, thinking like models. Did you see that Hailey Bieber started a new YouTube channel? Like she relaunched her YouTube channel now. It's Hailey Road Bieber.
Is this the video that came up? I watched a video last night that was her and Kendall Jenner getting drunk and playing like did you drink if you did it or something like that?
I haven't even watched it yet, but yeah, she's like Kendall's in her bathroom and that's like her debut episode. Yeah.
That was her bathroom?
Well, it's like, yeah, I think the idea of the YouTube channel is like me talking to celebrities in my bathroom. Who knows if it's a bathroom set or her actual bathroom, but
right.
But yeah. Was it bougie? I mean, it would make sense if it was like a crazy bathroom.
Well, it just didn't look like a bathroom. The video I watched, I was like, that looks like a kitchen, but like maybe it is maybe I'm not thinking of the right video, or two, maybe she just has a kitchen in her bathroom because she's rich. And
yeah, why not? Don't you? Like, if you're rich, wouldn't you put a kitchen right next to your?
Then you can have like your pancakes while you're in the bath, and you can be like cooking it. And, I don't know.
Okay. On to the negative. Sorry, continue.
Guys. 1 year of quarantine.
It's crazy. I literally got a notification on my phone, like photo memories, and it was literally what I was doing a year ago today. And I was on my cousin's bachelorette trip, and I remember I got back from that, and we were required to wear masks, and that's just crazy. A year.
It's wild. It's really wild, and things are slowly coming back to normal as the vaccine rolls out. But who knows what the lasting effects of this are going to be, how long we're going to wear masks for. And I hope everyone's mental health is okay. And if it's not, that's okay too. Just know there's love out here, because it has been a rough year for everyone. And
it has been so rough.
Acknowledge that.
And sometimes for me, I don't know how you feel, but sometimes for me, like at times I felt like time was flying by.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the months have gone by. So in a way, I'm like, oh, a year, that makes sense. But also it doesn't make sense to me that we're in March again.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. But you're right. No. Mental health. Yeah.
I feel that. I felt like some days, like I would sit there and I would be like, wow, time is moving so slow. Like during the day, like I'd be like, wow, I'm sitting here doing nothing, watching 12 hours Netflix. What is life? I'm in an existential crisis. But then next thing I knew, it was 2 months later. And I was like, how does that work?
The day to day was slow, but like overall, it feels like the months went by fast.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Also, you're almost at the end of another school year.
Like, when I graduate, I can't think about
and you're
that.
Done. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm jumping the gun on this next thing with the Grammys because I'm glad you wanted to talk about this. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't know the most about this, but I just know that The Weeknd has decided to boycott the Grammys, as in he's not going to let his team submit any of his music for review anymore because he didn't get a single nomination this year after his super popular album and single. And apparently there are these secret Grammy committees that decide like these super sought after biggest Grammys you can win, which I think is like album of the year, song of the year, artist of the year, there's like 4 big ones. And there are secret committees that people send gifts to, and they parade them around and schmooze them so that they can get nominations. So The Weeknd was like, I'm done. Like, this whole thing is rigged and I should be recognized.
Yeah, and I think he's right for that. I think, didn't he just hit some crazy milestone? Like his one song has been on the Billboard Hot 100 for a full year, and that's never happened before, or something crazy like that. And like, I know, I guess Grammy Awards shouldn't be based on like the popularity of a song. It should be like the quality of the song. But if it's that popular, clearly it's good and enough people like it. Yeah, so I was thinking also his label probably isn't happy that he doesn't want to be considered for a Grammy ever again, because I feel like it's good for labels to have artists that are Grammy winners,
Yep.
But I think it's a very bold move for him, and I like that he was humble enough to do that, because a lot of artists say like, oh, I don't do this for the awards, and then they win awards anyway, and it's like, you like it. But so I understand where he's coming from, and I'm happy with that decision that he made. But it's sad. And then I also hear I don't know if they're gonna like investigate it, but like there might be some sort of like racial aspect to these committees, because a lot of times like R&B singers or certain Black artists aren't in those big categories that you mentioned before. So that's something also that the Grammys always have an issue. Remember they had like an Ariana Grande scandal a couple years ago, and then something else happened. They just got to get it together.
Yeah, all the award shows,
all
the award shows, honestly, because also I like with the Golden Globes this year, there was that whole scandal that freaking Emily in Paris was nominated, and then it came out that like they had flown members of the foreign press to Paris to set and like paraded them in gifts and dinners so that they would be nominated. And
I didn't know that.
It's just it should be an anonymous committee that is diverse, that has many people from who like all different kinds of music and are from all different kinds of places, so that everyone has a fair shot, if you can even create that.
Absolutely, you're very right. It should be. So hopefully there'll be some improvement moving forward with that. And let's get into our topics today. We're just rolling right along. We want Margot to enjoy the Colorado sun, the snow, the air. So we're censoring ourselves today and trying to keep it quick. So our first topic, Margot, how do we can't live life without addressing #Meghan, Harry, Oprah, March 7th, 2021, interview of the year. This is our Super Bowl.
I was thinking about it, I was like, how many people are watching? Because I feel like this is like the Super Bowl.
Well, according to the ratings that Monday morning of last week, it was 17.1 million people tuned in. And that was then. And that didn't include, I was like listening to something about it, that didn't include anyone that DVR'd it or I was gonna watch it later. That was like live watchers.
I was one of them, and so were you. So
sure was.
What'd you think?
Okay, good thing I wrote down my thoughts in advance, because this could go on for a minute. So to be concise, and feel free to cut in, like if just cut me off. So, okay, first of all, such a wild interview. Nothing like this has ever been said about the royal family ever. So like it's monumental, it's historic, all in and of itself, because of the things that they disclosed. I loved it. But I do feel that there could have been some more juiciness, some more details spilled. That would have been great. But I understand that they, kind of had to censor themselves probably a little bit. There's a lot of rumors that even though they started out the interview saying that Oprah didn't ask them any questions beforehand, that they still probably had some media training and knew like certain things that they weren't going to disclose. Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Meghan and Harry, I'm literally out of breath. It's too much. Okay. Meghan and Harry, they both looked amazing. Meghan, stunning, pregnancy glow, hair, dress, shoes. Yes, minimal makeup. She's so effortlessly beautiful. It's like, and then Harry looks great. Love the suit, love the shoes. I like me some Harry. I think one of the biggest things for me, tell me if you agree, is the revelation that they actually got married in their backyard 3 days before the wedding.
Yeah, that was some tea. But it makes sense. Like I understood what they were saying. They were like, that day wasn't for us. It was for the spectacle of it all. So I thought that was really sweet.
I thought that was super sweet too, because it's like they had their special private moment. Like you said, it wasn't for them. The big day wasn't for them. But I'm surprised like the royal family, the institution wasn't mad about that. Like I could feel like that could be breaking tradition already.
I wonder if other royals do the same though.
Oh, that's
because
true.
It really is like not personal.
Yeah.
To, when all of the cameras are around, hundreds of people are there, people are screaming your name, and suddenly it becomes more about, okay, like, does my veil look okay? Like, am I walking straight? Am I saying the right words? Is this going as planned? Versus like, oh, let's just be with one another. You know what it made me think of? Did you watch The Office?
No, only like a few episodes. Tell it, the people will know.
Well, Jim and Pam get married like at Niagara Falls on a boat before their actual like wedding ceremony. Anyways, it reminded me of Jim and Pam, but it's fine.
Oh, okay, nice. All right. I don't believe that Meghan never Googled Harry. Don't believe that. Now I know their setup was a blind date, so she didn't know who she was meeting, right? That's the definition of a blind date. But once she saw him, I'm sure she was like, holy shit, this is Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what was the point of even saying she hadn't Googled him? It was a blind date, so she wouldn't know what she was doing. She didn't know who she was walking in to see anyway.
Maybe she meant like after they started dating, she never Googled him.
Got it. Okay. Obviously, for me, the biggest thing was like how crazy the tabloids are and like how different of a narrative that we were told. Like we were literally told the opposite of what went down. All the headlines were like, Meghan bullied Kate Middleton, Meghan's the bitch, Meghan's the blah. And to find out that no, Kate bullied Meghan. Kate made Meghan cry over freaking flower girl dresses.
Yeah.
Like we were fed such the opposite. And like Meghan and Harry said, they never said a thing. They never came out against those tabloids or anything. Not that they could have, because you know how they talked about how the tabloids there are like run by the family. Like they can help kill stories and let other ones fly.
The institution.
Oprah was like, now who is the institution? Is it one person? They were like, yeah, well, no, it's several people. We don't know. Or they didn't.
I don't think anybody knows who's in charge. That's honestly the vibe I got, was like,
yeah,
there are rules, but we don't know who's creating them. And I don't think anybody knows. Like they just are there.
They're just there. Right. I'm like, is this like the firm? Like what?
Yeah, I know. It's like a conspiracy theory kind of situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cult. Yeah.
And then the other like completely opposite narrative about Harry and Meghan choosing to leave the family. Like they were literally driven out. They were given no choice. They tried to stay. They wanted to stay. They admitted had none of this happened, they would have stayed. So, you know, I feel like all the media framed it like they were trying to break tradition and they didn't want to be a part of it. At the end, yeah, because they were left with no choice. But they had full intentions to stay married and stay as public servants and live the royal life.
Yeah.
So what? Okay.
Yeah. I was saying like, it felt very much to me like they were two people who relied on each other so much because they'd been like deserted by their families. Like Harry had this whole schism with his own family, and then Meghan, when she talked about her dad and how he went to the tabloids and spread all of these lies and talked about her. I mean, yes, she still has her mom, but it just, to me, there was like a loneliness there. And it felt pretty clear that this wasn't a choice they wanted to make. I mean, nobody wants to feel alienated by their family, to feel like they only have each other.
Right.
That's really like a sad feeling, a hard feeling.
That's true. Like take away the fame, take away the money. Like that's sad and something anyone can relate to. And clearly money doesn't help a family stay together, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought it was very honest of Harry to say that had it not been for Meghan, he would have stayed.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wouldn't have left. But then also I felt like that hurt the whole thing about like blaming Meghan for all of it, you know? I just thought that could be asked differently. Like I feel like it's not Meghan. It's like if he had married any sort of American woman that wasn't white, that would have ended up happening, I would assume. Okay. Which leads go ahead. Do you have something to add?
Well, I was just gonna say, if he married American or not, anybody who wasn't white from, you know, a certain British esteem, that like people would have come after that person. Right.
And I'll come back to that in a minute because I have something to add. But on a happy note, I'm very excited they're having a girl. Aww. So exciting. Baby girl. I personally, when I was watching, I was like, what if they name her Doria? That's Meghan's mom's name. Or Diana, obviously after Harry's mom. Or like maybe a middle name. People were saying like, okay, maybe it'll be a middle name. Maybe not the first name. But so exciting for them. I think they said they're done after this girl, so that's so sweet. And I think Meghan said something in one of the clips, like she's excited for Archie to have, a sibling, to have a person, because she grew up as an only child. We won't mention Samantha Markle and the travesty that is Meghan's that side of the family. Yikes. Okay, so obviously the most tragic, like sad whole thing about the conversation of Archie's skin tone and him not having protection and all of that is like, what the fuck? I know it's like what everyone's been saying all week. We knew that this royal family was racist. They found, I think, one Black person in this whole family since its beginning, its inception. Like,
right,
it's all white. Like, what did we expect? What do we think they were going to welcome?
And colonial, like they are
right.
the colonialists. So oh my gosh, what is his name? Why am I blanking? It's Kate Middleton and who's she married to?
William.
They came out like 2 days ago and they're like, we're not a racist family. Like, oh, where's your credibility?
Right. We believe you. Okay, since you said it, you're right. So do you have any thoughts between who it was that had those conversations with Harry about baby Archie? Do you think it was William? Do you think it was Kate, Charles? Because he said it's not the grandparents.
I could totally see it being like not just one person, but like even like sitting in a group scenario, they're talking about Meghan's pregnancy, and then one person says like, oh, I wonder what color the baby will be. And then everyone just chiming in and being like, oh, oh my God, now that you mention it, I've been thinking about that. And this is something we really need to consider. And I could see it being they're like sitting around in a group, and that's why they aren't just naming one person, because I feel like it's multiple people. And it's fucking disgusting. And Piers Morgan, it is racist. Okay. So
don't get me started on Piers Morgan, but I think he was probably taking this stance that a lot of, I think, British people took that are like very like royal crown lovers and like loyal to the royal family, that were like, oh, we all speculate when any baby is born, like what color hair will he have? What color eyes will he have? This is different. And it's worse that is their argument against it than just saying, oh, I'm sorry if that was considered racist. Like, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. And that's fucking crazy. Oh my God. Ugh. And the whole thing with Archie again about the protection, him not having protection, not getting the royal title. And that even in the media was spun. We always thought that Harry and Meghan didn't want him to have that title because we thought they wanted to leave the crown and have a normal life. No.
And the lack of security, like you can't say there's not anything opposing Archie when all of the other grandchildren or great grandchildren have gotten security, even if they didn't have a title, but like all of a sudden he wasn't going to have any.
Right. And I actually heard someone on a podcast break it down that it's because even though Archie is a great grandchild, it's because Harry is not directly in line to the throne. Like William's children are, because of William being the next king after Charles. So that's why his kids, since they're also in line, but it's like Harry is also in line further down the line, but he's in line as well as Archie. So it's just like, that argument is crazy, even though I think that is factually why. But so like once the Queen Elizabeth, God forbid, passes away and Charles becomes king, then Archie would have been able to get a royal title, because then it's his grandfather is the king. And he's automatically, even though right now his grandfather is still the future king and his great grandmother is queen, it's still like it's too far down. Apparently, once Charles is king, then Archie could be eligible for the prince title. Whatever.
They're freaking lines of succession. I can't even.
Too much.
It's too complicated for me.
Too complicated. My only other thing on race is that, and this sounds bad, but I hope you understand what I mean. Like, put it in a racial context. Meghan is like the most fair-skinned they could get in terms of a Black woman. The most ideal in their eyes, in their racist eyes. She is like the ideal. It's not going to get much lighter than that. I mean, Harry married me, maybe, just saying. He was, But, and let us not forget, let me get off my soapbox. Meghan, just like Barack Obama, is just as much white as she is Black. She has a fully white father. So she's not even, can you imagine, like, as an example, if Harry married Issa Rae or, I don't know, Regina King, like just anyone, any darker skin. I can't imagine how much worse it would be for them. So the one drop rule is real. Let's not forget. So it's just like, can you imagine? Like, it's just crazy. So
it's crazy, but not surprising. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that. I think everyone was sitting there like, oh my God, that's so messed up that they had those conversations, and that was a legitimate concern, and that they were going to strip this kid of all of his protections. But then it's like, okay, well, of course they were, you know?
Right, exactly. And there was speculation on Twitter that because in the interview, Harry, when Oprah directly asked like who was having those conversations and what were those conversations, when Harry was like, I'll never share those, was because people think that he hasn't even told Meghan the extent of how bad that the conversation might have been, which hopefully she would. I feel like he would tell her, but like maybe it's like even worse than we even imagined. So
right.
Okay, I'm almost done, Margot. I'm gonna let you talk some more. I'm sorry. I just thought it was like ironic, and this was also on Twitter, about when they were talking about baby Archie's first words and the words he's saying now. He said Meghan and Harry were like, whenever anyone leaves the house, he says drive safe. And the irony with that and the way Princess Diana died is just like, wow, maybe that's her way of speaking to them too. But it was just like, wow.
That's really, it's crazy. It's really adorable. And I hadn't even put that, like, I haven't put that thought together until you said it. It's like, oh yeah, his first like words are drive safe. Like, how crazy is that?
Crazy. I believe in like superstitious stuff like that. So you never know.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I rest my case.
I don't know that I have too much more to say. I just think it was a crazy interview. It was crazy to hear all of this stuff being finally said and addressed. I think Oprah did an amazing job of trying to get that like more of the juiciness out, and they were reluctant, and of course that is their right. I just think it was a really well produced episode too, because they had those little previews of like what's coming, and it made you want to keep watching. So I mean, but it's like Oprah, so of course it's well produced, you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right.
But yeah, I wonder, I'm just wondering if this will have an effect, you know, after Queen Elizabeth dies, which is going to happen sometime, you know, in the next decade probably.
And then Charles is going to be king for like 2 minutes, and then it'll be time for William.
Yeah, and I wonder like if there will be a shift in the amount of power they hold when William comes in, when it's a younger generation now in those titles of king and queen. Is it going to start meaning less? I don't know.
That's a great question. I don't know. And I don't have any friends that are British, and I would love to hear like our generation's perspective on that. But I know a family friend that has some British coworkers, and they are very much still for the crown and are on the side of the family. So maybe
it holds a lot of power.
Yeah.
Well, it was a really crazy time.
Very crazy. I'm just happy it ended up being 2 hours. I know originally I think it was supposed to be 1 or like an hour and a half, and they're like, oh no, this is gonna be 2 hours. So we got all the content. Thank you, Oprah. Woo! Okay, we can move on.
All right, let's talk about some more crazy news that came out. ABC has released an official statement saying that the next two hosts of this upcoming season of The Bachelorette, who we still don't know who the Bachelorette will be, but that'll be revealed when this podcast comes out. Day of. The new host will be Tayshia Adams, last season's Bachelorette, well, after Claire, and Caitlin Bristow, who she was she was like a few years ago Bachelorette. They are the new co-hosts, and that's going to be interesting. I don't know if you know much about Caitlin, Lydia, because
no,
I didn't watch her season, but I just know of her because she's in Bachelor Nation. She's very like blunt, and she's kind of funny. And I feel like Tayshia is like very sweet and, heartwarming. I mean, she tells it like it is when she needs to, but she's very sweet. So it'll be interesting to see how that works with them together and how they play off of each other. But I'm excited.
I'm excited too. It'll be interesting. And also the fact that there's just two of them instead of just one person. And remember, we were speculating about possible replacements last episode, and they did not cross my mind at all. So
At all.
it's very interesting, but it makes sense. And it's, diversity. They can feed off of each other. It'll be interesting.
You know what would be super smart of the franchise, and this thought just came to me, if they actually made it not only a reveal of who was going to be Bachelor and Bachelorette of the next season, but of who was going to be hosts, and if the hosts were constantly changing, and they would bring back fan favorites from Bachelor Nation, and so you're always on your toes of like not only who is going to be the next lead, but who's going to be the next host, and come back for some airtime.
That is a great idea also from a ratings perspective, because you know how Bachelor Nation has a lot of people that like will drop off and then come back.
Yeah.
And so like if they reveal a new host and it's someone that someone loved watching years ago, they might want to watch that season now because they get to see that old contestant. That's a great idea. Well, let me find abc.com so you can write this in. Shoot, Margot, you need to be the production company head. That's your new title.
Where's my internship? I've been applying. Okay, so hand it over.
Well, that will be interesting to see the two of them as the hosts. And then what is this tea about either Katie or Michelle being the possible future bachelorettes? Also, I want to say, how is Michelle already being rumored? We don't know that she is not Matt's fiance right now. So why is that even a conversation?
I think we know she's not Matt's fiance right now. Let me just say that this idea floating around that there might be two bachelorettes, the last time that happened, it was so messed up. I think it was Caitlin's season. I think, if I'm correct, they had two bachelorettes night one. And as the guys came in, they were able to vote on who they wanted to be bachelorette. So at the end of night one, the official bachelorette of the season was chosen from a vote from the guys. And I was like, that was so messed up, because the girl who didn't get picked, like that must have so much messed with her ego and her self-confidence.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
She literally showed up dressed to the nines, full hair and makeup, expecting to be the next lead. And then they were like, Caitlin.
Literally, that's like, you're like, ugly, pretty. I don't like that. No, I just got like flashbacks to like being a kid, when you like are on teams at school for games and they're like, the captains are picking. Oh, no.
Yeah.
So it's a disaster in the past. So yeah, okay, we're not for this. So if it's one or the other, who do you think?
I think Katie would be more entertaining in terms of like, she's kind of wild. Yeah. I think Michelle's season would be more wholesome and about love. So it would be two different vibes.
Okay.
But honestly, this season has been so much about the drama of everything that I wouldn't mind a season where it was Michelle and it was like, she's just like this really sweet school teacher, beautiful. And she has like these amazing arms. I don't know. That might just be me, but I'm always looking at her arms and I'm like, girl, teach me your workout because I want them. And so I don't know. I think I would like a season with Michelle.
The producers, I agree. I think Katie would probably be more interesting, and Michelle, I feel like the producer would be trying to make storylines like, Michelle, what is a flaw? Tell me. Have you ever thought about hitting one of your students? Like, tell me something. Like, yeah, I think most likely it'll be Katie between the two, but we shall see. And then we had this as a topic, but like as of this morning, we got new tea. So we're switching gears a little bit to celebrity couples. Margot, J-Lo and A-Rod, what is the latest?
Well, okay, so yesterday it came out that they had split and ended their 2-year-long engagement. But then today they told people that they're working through it and that they're actually still together and that they're in a rough spot because J-Lo is shooting a movie. She's shooting the movie that Armie Hammer was going to be in, right? So I think that was the Dominican Republic. So that's where she is. And he is in Miami. And so they've said things have been hard with quarantining, but they are still together and they're working through it. And they also said that it was not because of a third party. There was no third party involved. I don't know what the
So,
truth is, but
okay.
they put us on a roller coaster the past 48 hours because it was like, oh my God, they broke up. How they're so cute. I love watching their TikToks together. They're so funny. And they're so wholesome. And then now I guess they're working through it, but it's awkward because like everyone knows that things are not going so great.
Right. It's like the cat's out of the bag already. Also, like part of me believed it because of the timing of everything. Like at least the first reports I was seeing about their split was on Friday. So it felt like, okay, a Friday going into the weekend, it's a good time to post this kind of news. But also the fact that they're saying a third party does not contribute to this. And everyone's rumored about like the Madison from Bravo tea, like, but also I was like, if this is true, what are we mere mortals supposed to think about love? Like, if you can cheat on J-Lo, A-Rod, let's throw it back a little bit. Freaking Jay-Z, if you can cheat on Beyonce,
Yes, that's what I was
fuck am I
thinking.
supposed to think? Like, it's too much. This is sometimes it's like these little celebrity couples are not what it's cracked up to be. You gotta find yourself a nice, doctor, lawyer, and go live your life in freaking North Dakota in peace.
Yes. I think it's like these men who are just not as beautiful as the women that they are with, who are these insanely gorgeous, talented women. They're like, oh, I reached my peak, right? They married the hottest people on the planet, the most talented, the most beautiful, and then they're like, so I can do what I want, like their egos get big and they're like, oh, I can have anyone. And then they go out and they find someone who is not as hot to have fun with. But yes, very much Jay-Z, Beyonce vibes in this situation.
Yes. Well, I guess, we'll find out soon. And like you said, like you like them together, the TikToks, I felt like their families blended really well together. Like A-Rod's daughters and they felt like big sisters to Jennifer's daughter, and it was cute. And they were just together at the presidential inauguration, like not that long ago. So I'm confused. Maybe this is not true, but also, like you said, we all know they're having problems. I don't know. Sending good vibes their way.
Yeah.
Oh, twins, jinx. That's why we have a podcast. All right, moving forward. All I have to say is that I didn't know until yesterday that daylight savings time just happened this weekend. So we have lost an hour. We have sprung forward into the spring. So it's a little late to tell you to change your clocks because you should have done that by now. But if you haven't and you're wondering why you were late to work, why the show came on an hour early and you're not hungry and it's dinner time, it's because you need to change your clocks. So welcome to spring. Does that mean spring has happened? Not necessarily. It's not necessarily the first day of spring. It's just daylight savings time.
Yeah, spring is coming, summer is coming, positivity, happiness, and vaccines are coming our way. So there you go.
So change your clocks if you haven't already. Springing forward.
Spring it forward. And springing forward into quotes of the day.
Quotes of the day. My quote is from Rob Hill Sr. He said, "Release the past. Freedom and joy want you."
I love that. Release the bad winter, the terrible month of February. Let it all go and spring into the spring.
Yeah.
My quote is by Spencer Johnson, and it is, "Life moves on, and so should we."
Yes. Love that. Those are like interconnected. Yep. So true. Nice. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. I know you're not used to our brevity, but we tried to, get everything to you in a concise way. We want to see you. We hope you have a great next 2 weeks. Margot, I hope you have a great time in Colorado. I hope you love skiing. I was thinking actually skiing is probably one of the most COVID safe activities you can do.
Yeah, because it's all outside.
Yeah, and you have a helmet on, like your face isn't exposed. You're
already wearing like a neckies to stay warm that covers your mouth. So yeah. And
are you a skier or snowboarder?
I'm a skier.
Okay, so you're gonna be doing them pizzas and the perpendicular.
Yeah. and
Do
then
you
I
use
fall.
sticks? Do you use the sticks?
Yeah.
And then you fall.
I use the poles. Yeah.
The poles. Well, if I were out there with you, I would be on the bunny hill with the little kids, and they'd be teaching me how to pizza. Anyway, have fun. Love you.
Love
See
you.
you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye.
And that's the show. Stalk us on Instagram at popoffsis.podcast.
We'll see you next time.
Pop off, sis.